Take us away, Caitlin.
Oh, yeah, shit, it's my turn.
It
Give me
is.
1 second.
1.
Yeah, alright, funny boy.
You.
Hello
and welcome.
Jesus Christ. I want these people out of here by 6. I want to be out of here way before that, so...
Nope, we're here forever.
Hello! Hello and welcome to A Star to Steer Her By, your favorite Star Trek podcast.
Woo!
My name is Caitlin, and with me today are...
Jake!
Chris.
And names.
And we're here for episode, is it what, 339?
Yes.
Episode 339!
Ah.
That
Get
is...
one of those air horn sounds right there.
If I can find a public domain one.
I'm sure you
There's
can.
only public domain ones.
Well, on the quest for public domain air horns, I almost said foghorns.
No,
I'm
it's
gonna
Jake's
get you a foghorn leg. Oh my god. Anyway, yeah, we're here again today to talk about 2 more episodes of Star Trek: The Enterprise, Horizon, and The Breach. First, in Horizon, oh man, what a bummer. Fucking, every time Mayweather finally gets an episode and it starts with slapping him in the face. Mayweather gets the sad news that his dad has died 6 weeks ago, even though the last time he talked to his mom, she was like, no, he's doing fine, honey, don't worry about it. So what the fuck, Mom? This episode...
Ship's medic.
This episode...
Fire this bitch.
As a spoiler to the rest of the show, this episode is mostly about, like, Mayweather dealing with his brother and, like, them clashing. But if this was my episode, I'd be mad as fuck at my mom. I'd be like, what the fuck? You told me he was fine. I could have come to visit. I didn't get to say bye to my dad, and it's your fault because you either lied to me or you're incompetent. Which is it, Mom? Which is it?
Be mad at Starfleet, too. Apparently when she tried to send the subspace communication, it never reached Enterprise.
Well, that's because...
What the fuck?
Well, they did say that, like, sometimes those communications, when they're, like, when they're civilian, they're slower or something. I don't really know. All I'm saying
Forrest
is...
is on the phone with Archer right now, gabbing.
All I'm saying is, fucking Mayweather got fucked again. Is it the next episode where he breaks his shit again, too?
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck this fucking week! Alright, anyway.
Justice for Mayweather.
Mayweather gets
There's your
fucking...
title.
Seriously. Anyway, so Mayweather goes home, and he's, like, hanging with his mom, not at all mad at her for being a dumb bitch. Surprisingly, everybody's like, oh, Travis, where you been, buddy? And he's like, did you really not notice that I've been gone for years? No, I just thought you were away. I don't know.
Long bathroom
But
trip.
it turns out, the longest. But it turns out his brother is now acting as captain, and boy, he is as bad at being captain as, well, who's got to play captain while Archer was gone before?
Trip.
Trip was really bad that first time.
He's as bad at playing captain as Archer is.
I think you're going to say he's as bad as playing captain as his mother is at playing medic.
Playing
Hey, there it
doctor,
is.
playing nurse. Oh, anyway. So, like, fuck, I gotta try to remember what actually happens in this episode.
I mean, you kind of...
They get attacked.
Yeah.
Oh, right, they get
The
attacked,
pirates.
the pirates, that's what it was. So they're getting attacked by pirates, and Mayweather's like, Travis Mayweather specifically, they're all Mayweather.
Yeah, it's getting confusing.
Travis is like, well, I can bulk up the shields, and his brother's like, I didn't ask you to, like, do anything to the ship, I'm a dumb bitch, and, I don't want you to fix things, stop trying to steal my thunder, little brother, you've already done that by leaving and going to Starfleet, and I'm bitter! Dad liked
Bit
you
him
best!
too.
Dad liked
Bit
you
him, too.
Dad liked
Yeah.
you best. Anyway, they're able to fight off the pirates. I don't remember if it's because Enterprise shows up and fights them off. I literally don't remember how this episode ends.
So here's what happened.
Thank
Pirates, they're like, we'll just keep on our way and hopefully we'll get where we're going first and they can protect us there. But if pirates do show up, we'll just give them what they want. So, of course...
Oh, right, they let go of they released the cargo, and I remember being like, why are they're dumping the cargo and, like, the trailer has to cost something, right? Like, they give up the cargo so that they can fight the pirates, or so that they can not be killed by the pirates.
Yeah, we're skipping a step here, though.
Okay.
Because Paul's plan of give them what they want isn't going to work, because all the pirates want is for them to abandon ship.
Yeah.
So then Paul is like, okay, Travis, we'll do your plan. I'm glad you actually did all the fucking stuff I told you not to do already.
Sorry for being
Womp
a
womp.
huge dildo.
Which, to be fair, Travis should have asked permission before
he
fucking with
should've.
everything on the ship.
He should have.
Yeah.
He is not their crew member anymore. I don't know what he was expecting to do when he went over to his ship for a while.
Yeah, that clearly is a result of just them not getting along.
I mean, on the other hand, though, I do think Travis is a bit presumptuous to walk onto their ship and start walking around.
He was doing an Archer.
Big swinging
Yeah.
dick.
He's seen
Yeah,
Archer do it all
it's
the time.
definitely that. It's that Starfleet arrogance.
Yeah.
Of like, we know best, and I've been gone, and let me tell you how you're doing it wrong, you backwoods space hicks.
Well, and the problem, too, is I think they don't get into it as much, but I think some of the crew is kind of a little starry-eyed about him being there. Because, like, the guy he's doing the initial upgrades with is like, oh, boy!
Gee Willikers, you're with the Starfleet.
And, you know, he does, the brother even, like, his bitterness aside, does kind of a point of like, yeah, great, none of us know how to fix these things if you upgrade them. Now, he could leave a manual, but, you know.
Also, his little girlfriend seems to be into him.
Yeah.
Laura.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what was
the one scene
what
we
was-
see with her.
What was the point of her? Like, she shows up in that one scene, and then like they realize, oh man, this actress ain't great. Let's not put her in the rest
You
of the
didn't
episode.
recognize the actress.
No. We did notice she wasn't great, though. Who was it?
Oh boy. Well, let me tell you about her first
was
role.
it the princess from that other bad episode?
No.
Close. Close.
Femke Jensen?
No, so this is Nicole Forrester, who her first acting gig was Julian's birthday Dabo girl in his brain.
Oh no!
Wow.
in Distant Voices.
Wow.
You know what's funny? I actually just came to that episode in
And
my
skipped
rewatch.
it?
I did.
Good girl.
I was like, you know what? I've seen this like 3 or 4 times. I don't need to see it
That
again.
is way
Skip it.
too many. One is enough.
More than enough. Too many, I'd argue.
I would say that I am more likely to rewatch Profit and Lace than to ever watch that fucking
Wow.
terrible episode
That
again.
is saying something.
Distant Voices is really
I mean,
bad.
I plan to not
It is
watch
quite bad.
neither.
It's fun to be angry at Prophet and Lace for being so deplorable. It's just torture to watch Distant Voices.
Yeah.
I mean, the one
Plus
thing,
it's
the one
Quark,
the
you
one
know?
like
We
bit
like
of
Quark.
humor I find in Distant Voices is the joke that Julian's anxiety about getting older and he's turning 30.
Yeah.
Like, that's
In
just
an era
hilarious.
where people regularly live to like 110.
Yeah.
No, even more. I feel like.
I'm being conservative. I'm
Well-
assuming maybe Bones was an outlier.
Yeah. Also, he's genetically enhanced.
True.
So he probably
Right, he's
lived
never gonna
twice as
die.
long as
Yeah.
everyone.
Of course, the writers didn't know that.
That's true.
We also forgot the pointless fucking B plot to Paul at the movies again.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
Oh, my
Archer
God.
again. To Paul, you really got to start fraternizing with the crew. I know I tell you this every week, and you never do
Every
it.
week.
Every week
No, just
it
about.
is.
But-
How many times have I complained that he
Though-
won't let her be her?
Though it did give us the great moment of her telling Phlox to shut the fuck up in the movie.
Is our movie interrupting your fucking conversation, bitch?
See, here's the other
Yeah.
thing though, is like I think the writers really just wanted to do 7 of 9 again.
Yeah.
With the
And-
cat suit.
Yeah, well, obviously, yeah. In terms of like, oh, we need a sexy woman on the show with big titties. They nailed that brief, complete.
Well,
But
Caitlin is thankful.
and a great bum.
Nice bum.
Not a
Have you
lot of-
noticed she's got a great bum?
Not a lot of Read this week now that I think of it in either
Wow,
episode.
that's too bad.
He
Yeah.
was spelunking with everybody.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah, right,
He
he
went,
was-
he went on the mission.
It's
But
like
no,
he got more to do
anyway,
than Mayweather. He didn't get his leg broke.
But like, just like the sort of guileless, oh, I don't know how people thing. Despite the fact that she's lived on Earth for years.
Yeah.
Like, she's definitely knows how movies work.
Like, you could argue that
She knows she doesn't like them.
Yeah.
she maybe spent most of her time at the consulate, but that still doesn't really
She
work.
loves jazz.
Yeah.
She does?
Didn't she? She
Well, she
snuck
slipped
to go
out
to a-
once,
to
at
go to a
least.
jazz
oh,
bar.
right. I forgot about that.
Well, yeah, because it's Infusion, which is a fucking enraging episode, so you try not to think about it.
But
Hey,
yeah.
I
Even
pretty
that
much
great
try not
jacket.
to. I try not to think about Enterprise anytime except for when we're here or when I'm watching it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fair.
Like
You know?
they, I don't know. Yeah, there was a stupid B plot. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't do anything. Just
I will say I did like to Paul's kind of analysis of Frankenstein.
Yeah, that was good.
And then throwing in Archer and Trip's faces, a literary criticism, literary analysis that's been going around for ages now. That the monster is the hero of the
Yeah,
story.
well, that's
Come
like,
on.
how stupid are you, Archer?
He's a moron
yeah,
and he refuses
they're not-
to learn.
They're not English majors, okay? They
Clearly.
they're flyboys.
Well, that's true. I mean, Trip is literally an engineer, and Archer was
He was a test pilot.
Doesn't the monster kill somebody? Is it really fair to call him a hero?
Well, he's misunderstood.
I will
Doesn't
grant,
make him a hero.
Admittedly, I think especially the 30s film version, he is more of just a straight up monster.
I've never seen.
It's really the novel where you get more nuance and subtlety.
I've read the novel. I haven't seen any of the movies except
we
for
saw the
Young
movie.
Frankenstein, which definitely counts.
Yeah, the fact that that wasn't on the list of films they were watching, it's like, come on,
Well, they
Trib.
had to go. They could only pick like royalty-free films.
But they weren't going to show it.
Which again
No.
is so stupid.
You can
like
still
why?
say it.
But what are they going to do? Be like, oh, we're watching Star Wars tonight.
No, but they could have said Young Frankenstein,
They
one of the best
could
movies
watch
ever
Star
made.
Wars. Why not?
I just well,
You just wouldn't be able to watch them watch it. That's all. You could know they're watching.
They could do a whole scene about where they talk about how stupid Star Wars is and how anyone
Oh,
that likes
boy.
Star Wars must be a total dweeb.
Wow, and all of the Star Trek fans would just get huge erections and just be coming in their pants.
Oh God, everywhere.
I feel like that's one of the, we've talked about this before, but it is always just so weird when science fiction characters talk about science fiction. So it'd be like, I'm glad they wouldn't mention Star Wars necessarily. I wouldn't even want them
I
mentioning.
don't. I
like,
wouldn't want them. I
Listen,
think,
I wouldn't want them to, but they could.
Yeah.
I also just still can't get over the fact that that pop culture stops.
Yeah.
In 2003 when the show
Yeah.
came out.
Like you can certainly I get it. Like you can argue that there's a gap because World War III probably wiped out a lot of stuff. We are in
But
let's
there's
be honest.
other alien cultures to reference.
Yes, well, and also there was a gap, but they started making new stuff eventually. I would assume.
I also refuse to believe that there's no such thing as Vulcan cinema. I feel like that's obvious. There's
Yeah,
Yeah, but
I
they
wonder what it would
probably
be.
have cinema like Cardassians have literature, which is to say that it's probably like
Enigma Tales.
yeah, it's probably like not in the same way that people have it and would human people would have it and enjoy it.
Or they just watch documentaries.
maybe.
Not that there's anything wrong with them, but you need some variety in your life.
I could imagine like historical epics.
There's a large
These
variety
days.
of types of
Like the triumph of logic.
I feel like if well, no, see, this is just buying.
it sounds
into the,
like it was directed by Leni Riefenstahl, but the Vulcans do love Hitler.
I was
so,
going to say,
and
that,
Nazis, so-
the Vulcans, the only cinema they imported was German cinema of the 30s.
yeah,
and
that's
40s.
right. I feel like it would be. They're probably big on morality plays. Like they wouldn't call them that because I feel like morality play they would find emotional for some. But like it's probably about being a good little Vulcan. Except when
But,
they do like monster movies, and then it's like
But the thing is, like, Vulcans are shown as being creative and
Yeah.
like they music. They like
Yeah.
to
Art.
music. They like to art.
Yeah,
So you're
the
saying they have
architecture.
lots of MTV?
So like I feel like they definitely would have cinema, and I feel like I think they would have artistic cinema. Like maybe they do some like weird.
Gross, just lots of foreign films,
Yeah.
artsy foreign films.
I mean, every film to them is a foreign.
Well, here's the
film.
thing though. Here's the thing though.
Not the ones they make.
That's
surely.
If you import an international porno, you get to claim it's art. Because that does like you look at the Criterion Collection. Yeah, a lot of really, very artistic, interesting for it. But sometimes you're just like, this is literally just porn. You're just saying it isn't because it's from France.
But sometimes it's just really artistic porn. That sounds good. I didn't realize Criterion was slinging porn.
I mean, I don't know if they actually are, but there's usually some art. They call them like erotic thrillers or something. You're like, sounds like porn.
I wonder if
Softcore?
they do have
Probably.
to have porn just for
Ponfar.
lonely people that don't have someone to pawn far with, just to like
That's
to
terrible.
get their rocks
That
off.
reminds me, Ponfar exists,
Yeah,
and I'm
it's true.
unhappy.
It's true.
I did
Or
also
when they
like,
can't find anyone else to pawn far enough. Wait, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
sorry.
did also like because there was like I compared to Paul's little the Frankenstein's monster is like how humans treat Vulcans as a very kind of corollary to the EMH being like this is how I feel like humans treat me in his author episode,
Yeah.
and then opening everyone's eyes like this is how you feel we treat you. We're so sorry. But Archer, instead of being like, we're so sorry, that's not how you're supposed to read this movie. You're reading it wrong. Your analysis is incorrect, and we're not going to let you watch movies ever again.
She was like, thank God.
That
That's
was her
all I
trick.
wanted. That's all I
Ow.
wanted.
She figured it out.
Good for her. She
Wow.
is smart.
So
Taking a critical approach to cinema. How dare she? How dare she?
I did just realize too. Again, we're doing it too. This is really Mayweather's episode, and we're mostly talking about the dumb.
Well,
B
I think
plot.
we're getting it out of the way.
Yeah, let's get the B plot out of the way.
But the Mayweather plot also wasn't very interesting.
No, that's
if I'm
true.
not
Though I
gonna-
will say this explains something to me. when we got to Fortunate Son, I was like, I could have sworn this was Mayweather's family ship. Oh, that's a different episode.
It's just the same episode, though, is the thing.
In a lot of ways.
Like,
They just don't have a captive.
This is how you pirate.
Yeah, civilian ships being attacked by pirates. Except in that one, the pirates were more interesting.
Yeah.
Well, this one was all the family dynamics on a civilian ship instead of just the civilian dynamics on a family ship.
And hey, no dumb air effect this time.
That's true. Yeah.
I would just like to point out that we kind of have given Mayweather a lot of shit for not being not necessarily the best actor, a la Terry Farrell.
My wife says you're not a very good actor.
Very high and very low. But Mayweather, when he finds out about his dad's death, like, my dude works up some real tears. That's like, I mean, if that's not acting well, I don't know what that is.
I don't know. I didn't like him at all with his brother, so.
No, he sucked with his brother, but...
Yeah.
But still.
Crying alone in the upside down room. Aces for Mayweather.
I love they brought that back for the first time, I think, since the pilot.
Oh, that was at request of Anthony Montgomery. He's like, you know what we should do is have an episode about my family and also maybe the upside down room again, please.
So that's Mayweather.
I'm shocking they listened to him.
Yeah.
Anthony Montgomery. What a name.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, it is just kind of Fortunate Son again, without, again, the whole we have a captive.
More like Unfortunate Son.
I will say, to defend his mother a little,
no.
She is actually an engineer who got, like, doubled as ship's medic. She's not really a doctor.
Well, then maybe they should have, I don't know, brought their sick dad to a real doctor.
You know, he's a starship captain, which probably means he resisted every suggestion he do that.
I mean,
I would say, for all we know, he was the one being obstinate. Let's not assume the mother fucked up and didn't say, you know...
Oh, I'm not blaming the mother
darling,
for
go
that.
see a real physician. I'm just a medic.
Like, if...
It's Paul's fault somehow.
If you're really ill, and your wife is a medic who doesn't really have official medic training... Maybe you see a real doctor.
Yeah.
That's all.
But that's the thing, we don't really know, like...
But that fucks up your freighting schedule, Caitlin. The freight is the only important thing, and they're already behind on delivery.
Well, here's what I would say. If she was, like, the chief medical officer on the ship, she should have used her power to override him and made him go to a real doctor.
I don't think that's a thing outside of Starfleet.
The CMO says so.
Yeah.
This episode also has the worst teaser yet. I know we've complained a lot about the teasers on this show because they're all bad.
Hold on, I'm trying to remember it.
Oh dear, you're not gonna.
Yeah, I'm blanking.
All it is, it's Mayweather in the upside down room reading a book. He gets a call. He takes the call. They say, Mayweather, we need you on the bridge for a course correction.
Oh, yeah.
He says, aye, and leaves. And that's fucking it!
Yeah, that's so dumb.
It's so dumb!
In the upside down room.
Like, you could have cut that scene and cut the unnecessary scene with the girlfriend and, I don't know, maybe had a bit more with something useful.
Put Frankenstein in another episode.
He didn't really need to, like... I think seeing him tinkering, like, without permission on, like, the systems a couple times like that, like, more than once, was also unnecessary. It felt like how in, what's that... Which Harry Potter is it that Umbridge shows up? 5? Order of the Phoenix or some shit? And they show over and over and over and over and over and over and over again the quill, like, I will not tell lies.
Yeah,
it's like, yeah, we get it. She's really bad. We don't need to watch this, like, 18
Her name
times.
is Umbridge?
Yes.
Well,
Do you take umbrage at that?
They let us know she was evil right from the
Yeah,
get-go.
J.K. Rowling isn't actually a good writer.
I was saying that you would have been a good writer. Now, why do you think that is?
Well, yeah, it's true. Like, every character is just named something to let you know whether they're...
Oh my god. Not to mention, like, you know, Cho Chang or whatever the fuck. Like, she just, like, comes up with the most horrible, like, horribly offensive ethnic names because she's lazy and stupid.
Nice.
Seriously.
Wasn't there a character called Cho Chang? That was her name, isn't it? Okay, I just want to make sure that I wasn't unintentionally being...
She was named Panda Express.
I mean...
Shit.
Look, that's... I mean... Look, I mean, literally the only Jewish character at Hogwarts is named Goldstein, so...
Of course, naturally.
You're only really...
I am shocked there's a Jewish character in these books.
That's true.
At least it's Goldstein and not, like...
Yeah.
I don't even want to say the horrible thing she could have chosen.
Then again,
I mean,
there are all you want to talk Jewish stereotypes there. Anyway, we're not here to bash Rowling. That's easy. We're here to bash Enterprise, which is also
even
easy.
easier.
But
Actually, it's not. Oh, well, actually, I don't know. We found out that there are a couple of TERFs on the cast of Voyager. Are there any TERFs on the cast of Enterprise? Because that would make this show just as easy to bash as J.K. Rowling.
Not that I know
Let's
of.
find out.
Fingers crossed.
Barclay a TERF?
Probably.
Guy plays Barclay?
Oh, Barclay's
Well,
a
no,
fucking...
he's not even a feminist though. He's just a turd.
Oh, right.
He's just
Yeah,
a right
He's more of a turd
Yeah,
than
no,
a
he's a
TERF.
Breitbart contributor. That's all you need to know about him.
He's a trans-exclusionary radical douchebag.
There it is.
A turd.
God, yeah, that's the thing. Like, nothing happened. Like, even the pirates didn't feel that threatening or important or vital or...
Well, especially because we know this is the show where no one
Well,
dies.
I think the problem is that they haven't really spent any time making us care about Mayweather as a
At
character
all.
up
That's
to
a
this
good
point.
point. At
And
all.
then so it's just like, okay, we're going to do a whole episode. And then they're realizing, as they're writing this, like, oh, we have to fill, a whole episode worth of content on a character that we haven't spent any time on. So what do we know about him? He does pranks.
He's quite a practical
Yeah.
joker.
He's not a single prank.
He likes rock climbing. Oh wait, that next
He
episode.
likes
We'll
falling.
bring that up.
He likes falling off of shit and breaking shit.
Wait,
So
no, fuck,
so it's
next
like,
episode.
Yeah,
It's still true.
there's really... It felt unearned.
Yeah, I
Well,
wrote
and
in
I
my
guess
notes.
Oh, go ahead.
Oof, this argument between Travis and Paul is shockingly boring.
I barely remember it.
No
Is
one
Paul the
wants.
brother?
No one wants to run freight anymore, Travis.
Well, yeah, why would you?
Yeah, why would you run freight? Especially when there are ships that are so
No.
much faster.
That would be like being like, no one wants to fucking... I don't even know. No one wants to hunter-gather anymore. No one wants to just do subsistence farming anymore. Why don't you want to work hard and barely scrape by, Travis?
No one wants to drive stagecoaches anymore.
I mean,
Nobody pisses in a bucket anymore, Travis, so they can fucking make leather. You ever realize that? Isn't that crazy?
What? That's how you make leather?
Well, there was like a...
Oh, I
so
need to learn this.
when you hear... Well, okay, so like, keeping in mind that I'm like a 20th hand person, the reason why the phrase, like, they didn't have a pot to piss in, the reason why people would have a pot to piss in is because you could piss in your pot and then you could, like, sell the piss. They would use it to cure leather, I think, is my understanding. Again, I don't remember where I heard this. It could be totally wrong. Are you verifying? That would be great. If you're verifying, I would really appreciate that. And if I'm wrong,
Chris is
I'd love
looking
you
up
to
pots
cut
to
this.
piss in.
soaking
On
animal
X.
skins in urine also made it easier for leather workers to remove hair and bits of flesh from the skin. Holy
There you
shit.
go. So if you were so poor that you didn't have a pot to piss in, that's pretty poor. And it also meant that you weren't making money for
Yeah,
that
you
from that
can't sell
piss,
your piss.
that bucket piss
You
money.
have to piss directly on the leather now.
Now
Hold it right there.
Now
Just
instead
write
of-
my name on it.
piss, we just use horrific chemicals, and which is why we outsource most of our leather work to developing nations, and it kills the locals.
Yeah, it's huge in India.
Yeah.
Lots of leather work in India, which I always thought was fucking
Ironic.
terrible because, like, I mean, not all of them, obviously, but for a significant portion of people, the cow is a rather,
Yeah,
if
yeah.
not a sacred animal, certainly a revered animal. And,
Yeah, it's fucked up. That's imperialism for you.
well, c'est la vie. But not really.
Speaking of imperialism, more Enterprise. Oh, did you guys notice you can see a copy of Chicago Gangs in Mayweather's old quarters?
No
So-
kidding, that's funny.
What's that? Is that the
That's-
book that caused
It's similar. The book
Piece of the Action?
The book from Piece of the Action is called Chicago Mobs of the 20s, but I've definitely seen reference that because this is the Horizon, and the Horizon is the ship that went to Sigma Iotia, that this is the same ship and the correct book, but I'm confused.
Oh, I thought the Horizon was a Starfleet vessel.
I don't. Well, it's a reference, and I haven't gone further than that.
No,
You
it's
can
fair.
also see a model of the Phoenix.
That I did see.
I like that Easter egg. Anyway, in spite of this episode.
Yeah, it reminds you of better episodes that exist. Gangsters.
Yeah, it's a toothless remake of Fortunate Son.
Yeah, now if they had done Fortunate Son, and instead of the ship that they did, that was
The Fortune or the Fortunate?
the Fortunate.
Fortunate.
If they had done that script, but made the characters the Mayweathers,
That might have worked better.
that would have made a more interesting episode because
Yeah, personal stakes.
Fortunate Son was a more interesting episode.
Yeah, and the father is the unconscious captain. Paul is the first officer who's going too far.
And then it would make sense why Mayweather is standing up for these people so much,
Yeah,
even
more
though
than
he's
just-
inherently wrong.
Yeah, like it's more than just, oh, these are like the people I grew up with. Oh no, it's literally the people I grew up with.
And then, like, if you have Mayweather siding with the crew of the Fortunate, even after, and it becomes like a family loyalty thing, that creates conflict with the crew.
Yeah.
Right? Because the Fortunate, like, they try to kill Archer and friends.
Yeah.
Or maybe not kill them, but they put them in a situation where they could have died.
Yeah.
Now I just have the Garfield and Friends tune, but with Archer.
Garfield and Friends. I was thinking that too.
So yeah, I don't know. I think that, like, they're like, oh, we need to do a story about, because we created this character who's a boomer, and like that's like a key component of his character in the pilot, but we've never done anything else with it, so we got to do something with that. And then they do this, and it's just kind of boring and dull. And
Well, it's like they literally had one idea for him, so they did it twice.
yeah.
So nice, we did it twice.
He did
Was
he did get some strawberry shortcake.
True. Some shitty freeze-dried strawberry shortcake.
Yum.
I always hated the real stuff. It didn't taste right. Shut up, Travis.
Chef
chemical.
cries in the corner.
That actually, I mean, that was kind of a nice touch. If you grew up on like garbage food.
Yeah, it's
you
like
get-
how is it O'Brien that still likes the fucking ration packs?
Oh yeah, he sure does.
I'm saying, it
But
sounds
only
like something
only
he'd say.
Starfleet ones though.
Because of the racism, you see.
Two things. One, as someone who has recently stopped consuming meat, the one thing that I miss is that disgusting original chicken sandwich from Burger King. That is the thing that my heart cries for the most. It's horrifying. Second of all, was this their attempt to like try to do a spin-off? Was there
No.
any? Was there
Of
any?
what?
Like
to do a boomer show?
I thought it might have been like
No.
I was wondering if it was going to be. Obviously, they didn't. I knew they didn't. But like, were they trying to give themselves an out to write Mayweather off the show by having him like transfer to the Horizon?
Well, we don't know what to do with this character, so he's someone else's problem now.
Yeah, and then someone was like, yeah, but we can't really lose a person of color because that would look really bad.
well, then maybe we should give him stuff to do in the
Yeah,
show, because
maybe.
otherwise it just looks like obvious tokenism, and that
maybe-
also looks kind of bad.
Maybe we'll give him something to do in the next episode.
Hey, let's find out, shall we?
Let's do it.
All right. Second
Rock
episode of
climb
the
on
day.
down.
Or just fall down the cliff face.
Whoopsie.
Whoopsie.
Hi.
Insert the sound that Goofy makes when he falls off of things. Whee! There it is. All right. The breach. In the breach. So, okay. So the Denobulans have been having, or many years, centuries ago, the Denobulans and the Antarans had very bad blood, and they had war and potentially genocide. We don't really know. We're not really hearing like a good full story. We're hearing one side, but apparently the Denobulans did some genocide on these Antarans, and they are all still really bitter. And each side tells stories about the other side to their children about how like if you're bad and you don't go to bed on time, the Antarans are gonna get you. Oh, if you don't eat celery off of someone's plate, the Denobulans will find you. So just remember to always steal celery on Christmas Eve.
You broke Chris.
Yeah.
I love the idea, though, that like not specifically the celery, but like that they actually, it's like, eat your vegetables and the Denobulans will come.
Eat your vegetables and eat my vegetables too. Damn it! There's Denobulans out there. So that's the background, and as a result, I don't remember exactly what happened in this episode, so I'm going to tell a story, and you can tell me if it's right.
Nice.
So the Denobulans, we've got some Denobulans, and they're on a planetoid thing out in space, and they're like digging up crystals. And we've been told that the Antarans are coming and they're gonna fuck shit up. And
Nope.
No,
okay.
you're all right.
Nope, that's right. We got 72 hours to get them out of there.
That one.
Centaurus?
Yes, the Xantorites.
Xantorites.
Or the
Yeah,
Xantorans.
there's a
But then
planet.
why are these other people involved?
So here's what it was. So
this is great. I'm going to trick you
they're-
guys into doing my intros every week.
The Enterprise is sent to this planet to rescue some
Denobulans, right, who are
Xanforce.
digging up crystals.
who are trapped underground, they think, or they don't know, because the government of this planet has had a takeover, a coup or something, and
The Daily Coup.
and the new government is super xenophobic and doesn't want any aliens on the planet. And any aliens on the planet after 72 hours are going to get hunted
so I got
down.
the 72 hours right
Yeah.
anyway. Good for me. You
So-
know, that's the important
So that's why the
bits.
Enterprise. So the Enterprise is specifically going there to pick up these
to help
Denobulans.
these Denobulans. But then how did we find these
Because
Antarans?
there was another ship of aliens that was leaving the planet that had some kind of incident, and
was there a hull breach of some kind? Because that's
Perhaps.
the only way that a breach would make
I think
any
it was
fucking
a
sense.
reactor issue, and it was leaking radiation.
Okay, so that was
Breach
the
of
breach.
confidence. That's
and,
what it
and
is.
the Enterprise had to rescue that ship, and that's where the Antaran guy was.
The Enterprise had to stick... Archer had to stick his fucking nose in. Well, thank you guys for filling that in for me. So, at any rate, we wind up with this Antaran fellow on our ship, whose name apparently is Hudak. Hudak?
I don't remember how it's
Hudak.
pronounced. Hudak.
Hudak.
Who's
So, he's... so he...
Snack?
Nah.
What did you say?
Kevin Uxbridge.
Sleestack?
Who's Snack?
Okay, we're ignoring Jake.
All right.
It's the best to do.
It's difficult.
Kevin Umbridge.
Hudak. So Hudak, Dak, Duke, whatever. Haddock is injured, and he's gonna die if he doesn't get treatment. But he's a racist piece of shit, and he wakes up and he's like, "Don't let Phlox touch me." And it's like, "Don't worry, he's not gonna steal your celery. He's gonna save your life." And he's like, "I don't care. I don't want him to save my life or steal my celery." So Phlox is like, "Well, I guess that's that." And Archer's like, "I order you to fucking give him surgery
knock him out
without his consent." And
Yikes,
Archer. Phlox is like, "I wouldn't do that to anyone, even my worst enemy, which this person is. So you can see I would never do that to anyone at all." And Archer's mad about it. And what the fuck is with commanding officers on fucking Starfleet ships thinking they get to make decisions about people's fucking medical health decisions? Like, fuck.
Yeah,
Fuck
big
you.
nothing human vibes here.
Yeah, get the fuck out, Archer. Anyway, so he's like, "Okay, well, I apparently can't order you to do surgery against someone's consent. Big fucking deal. But I can order you to try to talk to this guy and make him let you do it. So coercion. I can make you try to coerce him.
Trick him somehow.
Do it. Make it happen." And Phlox is like, "Oh, you fucking douche." And so Phlox is like, "Let me tell you a story. I always taught my children to not hate Antarans. And one of my sons is a little racist fuck, but that's not how I raised him."
He got onto the 4chan.
And the 8chan. And, Huddock is like, "Oh my god, you've told your children that we're not boogeymen? I am suddenly trusting of you and would like you to do me the surgery so I don't die." And Phlox is like, cool.
Snip, snip.
Snip, snip. Yep. So he fixes him and he's fine. And meanwhile, so that's like, it's funny, like, I don't even feel like we have an A and B plot. I feel like we have an A1 and an A2 plot. Like,
I feel we have a B1 and a B2 plot.
Well, yeah, fair enough. But what I mean is I feel like they are both, like, given equal weight and equal importance, and neither has
it's
much
about
of
being
either.
stubborn assholes.
Yep.
So, meanwhile, Reed and Trip and Travis are,
Spelunking.
rappelling down, spelunking. They're doing rappelling while they spelunk. And, wouldn't you know it, their fucking ropes give way. Travis gets dragged down a cliff face, breaks, I don't know, his leg,
Probably.
fucking everything.
Well, yeah, because he was being dragged down an incline by the weight
of two men, yeah.
And then he stopped it. He used his leg to stop himself, and
Snap.
And
good
it
on him for
broke.
saving everybody's life, but also ouch.
Yeah, and also, hey, Star Trek, stop fucking putting him out of commission so you don't have to give him lines.
Yeah.
Why couldn't it have been Reed?
Yeah,
Reed could have
have
broken
Reed
his leg.
or Trip even.
Yeah, well, his name's Trip, and you expect him to What happened, Trip? Do you have a nice fall?
Yay.
Shut up, Captain. It ain't funny anytime you say it. It's like the 12th.
I'm the captain, and everything I say is funny, and that's an order.
Ha ha, Captain. Ha ha.
But anyway, so so Travis breaks his leg, and they're like, "Okay, buddy, we'll come back for you. Don't worry." LOL. And they continue on, and they find the Denobulans, and it's just this group of ding-dongs digging up fucking crystals. And they're like, "Okay, guys, we have to go. You're about to get obliterated." And they're like, "But our crystals!" And they're like, No. You need to come away now. We were ordered to come get you. We can't go back without you. Okay, but you have to help us get everything out.
You need to bring Her Royal Majesty's
Majesty. I was just gonna make that comparison. It literally is. Like, each of them becomes fucking barf in that scene. One of them has to carry the big fucking hairdryer. It's just ridiculous. Though they do give Travis something to carry, which he promptly drops, but it's like the most obvious, like, oops. Like, I know I said Mayweather did some good acting in Horizon, but his accidental slipping something off of a table like a cat was not good. Yeah. So, but then the Denobulans like, "It's cool, I have more of that." Did you make us bring doubles of everything, you son of a bitch?
Everything. We're all clones, in fact.
Also, we find out that Denobulans apparently can just scale
sheer
cliff walls.
That was so
what
idiotic.
new superpowers will Denobulans
Like,
have?
Oh my god, they're the Vulcans of this show.
When they were like, "We don't have climbing gear," I thought it was supposed to be like they'd purposely left it behind, and it's just like, oh no, you guys are just lizards.
Yeah, we're
they do
mountain
have the
goats.
face expanding
maybe
thing.
maybe they have sticky fingers. Oh god, like Phlox isn't already creepy enough.
Good.
That's like so he just like passes his hand over your plate and all your food just sticks to his finger.
Oh god, now I'm just picturing fucking Daniel Stern in Home Alone 2.
Yep.
Just jamming his hand into a thing of pennies.
We're the sticky bandits. Oh my god. Wow, just when I thought I couldn't dislike Denobulans more. But anyway,
come on, you love Daniel Stern in Home Alone.
No, I didn't mean that.
No, I know.
And I don't really like him in Home Alone 2. He's kind of a creep. And that being fair, he's also like kind of a sociopath. Like the fucking wet bandits shit, like deciding that it's not enough to rob people's houses, but also to destroy their home. He's a fucked up motherfucker. Like, he's
and Joe Pesci calls him on it.
Yeah,
he says, "You're
that's
sick
sick.
guy."
That's really sick. It's not
Sorry.
sick.
Anyway,
I
Enterprise.
I haven't seen this movie in a million years.
Oh my god, we should watch it this year. I watch it every
I
year.
prefer not to.
Too bad,
they
we're
should have
watching it. I'm
introduced
just kidding. You don't have to if you don't want to.
villains for Home Alone. It defies credulity that
No, of course they would run into each other randomly in the biggest city in America. Why wouldn't that happen?
Anyway.
Also, did they not go to jail
God
after the
damn
first
it.
movie?
They broke out.
Anyway.
Oh, I forgot.
There's a newspaper article about it, I think. They show them.
The Breach, directed by Robbie McNeil.
Yeah, that I did see, yeah.
He did a pretty good job. There were a couple good moments I liked. Like, I know they only had about 30 feet of rock wall, and they made it look like endless, so good on him. And I actually really thought the scene, one of the scenes in which Pudak is talking with Phlox is done like through a curtain, and I'm like, oh, Robbie, that looks real nice.
It's some art.
There's
That's the thing. It's not, like, you know, we can say what we want about the script, but, like, you know, Robbie didn't write the script. He just had to work with it. And I feel like we got the best version of this that we could, probably.
I was just thinking, now, to be...
Jake's favorite episode.
Maybe I'm just...
We're on the
Stockholm
Enterprise.
syndrome
We're on the
this.
Enterprise scale.
Yeah, exactly. Again, on the bell curve of Enterprise episodes, this is definitely on the upper side of what we've seen.
Yeah, I think
would say.
my issue with it is that they don't, and this is going to be a weird complaint, but they don't make Phlox racist.
I had a similar complaint, and that's that not only is he not racist, but he's anti-racist, and it only comes up in the last 3 minutes of the episode when it is the most convenient.
Yeah, it's like because the other guy is basically just going, "I don't want a black doctor," you're just like, wow, you're a scumbag. And, like, they do have Phlox admit, like, yeah, okay, so clearly, like, the idea is, like, yeah, he was brought up to be racist and has resisted it, but clearly has some, like, he does blow up at him at one point, but it's like...
Who, Phlox?
Yeah. It's
the blow-up scene was a good scene.
It's not at all comparable. So at the end of the day, rather than it being like, oh, this complicated history of these two peoples, it's just like one guy who's aware of it and trying to deal with it, and another guy who's just a jerk.
Yeah, and he's goading him the whole time. Like, when Phlox finally blows up, it's because this guy is pushing every fucking button he can.
Yeah, and it's just like, again, I mean, in a way, it's like, hey, it's nice that Phlox is nice, because we mostly find him annoying, but it's just like, it fucks up what I think they wanted to get at?
I think, yeah, if it had been a thing where Phlox had to grow as a person,
Right.
It would've been like-
Instead you learned he'd already done the growing.
Yeah, which makes it not very
And
interesting.
we kind of get a tell don't show too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I expected the story about his son being a huge racist and that causing the split to have been a lie to get this guy to do the thing. But then we see him
Then
writing
he sends
a
him
letter
a
to the
voicemail.
son, and it's like, oh no, it's not. This is just something that we've never known about you, but it was so pertinent to this one specific situation.
He only wants to talk about his family when it's about who on Enterprise
Who's
can fuck his
banging.
wives. Yeah.
See, I think it would have been interesting if, like, dog.
Rah, 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 rah.
If throughout the course of the show of Enterprise, if we had slowly learned that, like, the Nobulans were fucking monsters. Like,
Well, we kind of did just learn that,
well,
didn't
we
we?
did.
I mean,
Well, like, but like, still are. You know, so like we have the episode, we have Dear Doctor, where we see that like Phlox makes some very questionable choices, and then
that's true though. We do already see that he likes genocide, so it does lend some credence to the story.
and like
But go on,
how interesting would it have been if at some point through the show it was kind of revealed that Phlox, despite being a competent doctor,
And always big and smiley.
is kind of a fucking villain.
Did you notice Archer gives Phlox a lot of shit for never having told him that his people 300 years ago were involved in this war?
Yeah, right.
It's like, do you know what humans were doing
Yeah, it's like-
300 years ago?
also,
dude?
John.
Archer, you never asked, bitch.
Yeah, John, have you sat down and told him about any of humanity's history of genocide and evil?
You
Yes,
ever
he
sat
forces-
down and told them all about like slavery in
I mean, he-
America
he
or
just-
like
No one talks
Just
about
last
that
week,
anymore in the
he
future.
was telling General Martok about how backwards humans used to be.
Yeah, it's true. Oh god, he does. He sits that's what he's bored him with at breakfast for years. But yeah, I mean, I get that. Like again, it still doesn't justify Archer's Archerness, but I guess if the guy shows up and he's just like, oh god, Captain, I should probably let you know this guy probably hates my guts. Again, I don't think it's a reasonable ask, but it does make a little more sense than it being random.
Now, although like nothing human, right? That's the
the Cardassian one?
Yeah. So like, although like there's obvious similarities there, I think that this is closer in a lot of ways to the enemy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that in here
With
too.
like the
Wait, was that Cardassian one you're talking about the one where
Dr.
he's a
Mengele.
Nazi doctor?
Yeah.
And doesn't Janeway order her to have the surgery?
yes.
Pretty much.
Fucking Janeway.
There really is like a history in Star Trek of not respecting people's medical rights. Now, and here's the thing, I don't know. Maybe in the real world military, when you join, you waive certain medical rights. Couldn't tell you. So maybe that's accurate.
Icky.
Like, it could be. Like, I know we were complaining about it a few weeks ago, but like, when, Phlox didn't tell Archer that T'Pol had this thing, it occurred to me, maybe in the real military, if you are an officer and you have something that is potentially debilitating, maybe it is technically required you tell your commanding officer. I don't know, but it could just be a thing.
Well, but even so, it should be on her, not on Phlox.
Well, yes, but either way, so I don't know. I don't know if it actually accurately reflects, like, maybe, again, you give up certain individual medical rights in these situations.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell you.
Well, I mean, I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. If you're in service, there's probably some.
Yeah, we own you. We want you to still continue to work.
I,
so.
I mean, like with Janeway, like the conundrum there is if B'Elanna dies, you're out your chief engineer.
Where's
Curly?
Carrie's
Yeah,
around.
Carrie, there we go.
Carrie, yeah.
They got backups.
Remember, the EMH could
Boric.
probably do it. Just
No.
let the EMH read some technical journals. He'll be fine.
The EME.
Yeah.
Paris
No,
will do it.
EEH. Anyway.
Paris takes on every job
Yeah,
on the ship
yeah.
somehow.
Well, and he built the
The Delta Flyer.
Yeah, so
That's true.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, so it's
Plus,
like-
he's a man, and B'Elanna's a woman, so obviously he's.
Oh, no.
No, I'm just kidding.
Ames almost spit out her coffee.
Sorry, Amy. Amy. Wow, I never call you Amy. Sorry, Ames. I didn't mean to almost make you spit take.
I was almost about to say, that's not her name, but technically
It is her name. Yeah,
lots
for sure
Of,
it
lots
is.
of people do call me that still.
Oh no, I know. But I just don't usually. So I don't know where it came from.
You goofed, son.
Yeah, done.
Yeah, I know Billingsley has said like he's had mixed feelings about making the Denobulans war criminals because he's like, this came out of nowhere and it makes my species look bad. I'm like, you're the one who makes your species look bad.
But also, again, it's 300 years ago. Like, and humans have that's kind of the thing with Star Trek is every race has a dark history. That's kind of a thing. You have to get through your dark history to make it to this stage.
Yeah, and I think it would have been very interesting if the prejudice had persisted in flocks.
Yeah.
And then like there's like it's sort of, you know, it would be like taking the enemy, and in the enemy they actually had the balls to say they're not gonna put their shit aside.
Yeah.
And they're just gonna, and the guy's just gonna die rather than.
Oh right, because Worf won't give him blood, right?
Well, and also he didn't want Worf's blood. Like he would have refused it either way.
Kind of cleans Worf's hands a little bit.
A little bit,
Yeah.
but no, Worf didn't consent either. Like they were both obstinate, and the dude died as a result of his prejudice.
Bokra lived, and that's what matters.
One last whatever. What was he, a Romulan?
Yeah. And I think that they could have done the same thing, only with the opposite outcome here, and then you can have some growth in flocks.
Opposite outcome?
And still come to the conclusion that Phlox is like, I won't treat this man. Like at the beginning, Phlox like, he doesn't want the treatment. I don't want to treat him because he's a piece of shit and tyrant, and fuck those guys.
Oh.
And then,
as opposed to it just being because he's a physician and I have to respect his wishes.
And then Archer can be a little more righteous and be like, you are a doctor.
Yeah, you've taken an oath.
You have taken an oath. He's like, I didn't take no fucking Hippocratic oath. We don't have that on Denobian.
Yeah, I love the line, Hippocrates?
Hippocrates, yeah.
Well, it wasn't Denobian last time
on
I
our
checked.
planet, we take the Hippocratic oath, but there's an addendum, unless they're Antares.
But yeah, I did love when he threw that in Archer's face, when Archer was like, I don't care about it. He's like, this isn't just an us thing, fuckface.
But yeah, and then, you know, maybe he comes around.
Yeah.
You know, like after talking to the guy, meeting him, and like they understand each other.
Yeah, there was just like, there was no real like, again, I guess I like that Phlox isn't a jerk, but what's the point of the episode then? It just makes the other guy a racist.
Yeah.
And him not. And it's like there's not as much. What I was honestly kind of What I was kind of half expecting, one of the three Denobulan geologists, the most annoying people in the world. The monoculture of Denobulans here clearly is just that they are the most annoying species in space.
Yeah, insufferable.
You know, when people
Humans are trying real hard though.
Yeah, they are. Yeah. But you know, when people are like, oh, why aren't Denobulans one of the founding species of the Federation? Because they are too annoying. And these people have met Archer. But I thought that the younger male geologist looked a lot like Billingsley in the makeup. So I was half expecting him to be the racist son.
Oh no!
And he was getting on the ship, and
then it could have come up earlier and been a fucking point.
And really awkward.
And he could have seen that his dad was treating him and been like, "What the fuck, Dad?
Yeah, but that just
you're gonna save that fucking."
Like, there's so many things that didn't dovetail. That could, like, the whole reason this thing is happening on this planet is because of racism. You've got some Denobulans on this planet. Even if it wasn't related to Phlox, you could have brought them up sooner and had one or all of them be huge racists. You know, something. Like, there's all these components that seem like they should have gone together that are walled off from one another. It's so weird. Also, that young guy, actually, I looked him up because I thought, wow, he looks a lot like Billingsley. No relation, but huge prolific voice actor, and is Legion in the Mass Effect games, which are very big. You know, people have often.
Legion is a hive mind robot.
Yeah,
right?
But the best Star Trek game, as people call it sometimes. And also he actually was in at least one Star Trek game too. I forget who though.
I do want to say that as someone who grew up in a very racist state with a fairly racist family and with my own racist ideas in my youth, I salute Phlox for getting beyond all that, because obviously, like, most people agree that, like, judging people on, well, most people agree. The people in this room agree that judging someone based on race or religion or whatever is obviously fucking bogus. But when you're born into it and it's just part of, like, a matter of fact of life, it's really hard to move away from it.
Yeah, after years of propaganda, too.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing, too, is, like, no matter how, like, Harvard, some years ago now, it's probably like a decade, I was, like, about to be, like, recently, but it was a long-ass time ago. Harvard released this, like, test where you had to, like, separate, like, European from African descent, and then, like, okay, now sort Europe is good and black is bad, and now sort black is good and European is bad. And they discovered that, like, their findings from that was most people took more time sorting black is good than European is good, and that, you know, speaks to how much racial prejudice is just sort of built into society.
Mm-hmm.
And like even again, like I have worked since I moved here. So I came here for school when I was 18 and immediately started meeting people of color, which you just don't have a lot of people of color in New Hampshire. My high school class had 2 black kids. That was it. But I started meeting people of color, people of different like backgrounds, and I immediately had to start like working on my own shit because I was like, well, I don't want to be this scumbag New Hampshire racist. I want to be a good person, and I had to work at it, and I still work at it. And even while I'm working at it, I still didn't do well on that test, you know? So even if you think like I'm doing things right and I don't treat people poorly and I behave towards people how I want them to behave towards me and all that shit, it's still just in there, just under the surface as like a matter of fact of like American culture for sure, and the world at large too. I mean,
yeah,
light skin being better is sort of a thing all around the world, which is why you find like bleach whitening creams in like countries like India or Korea or like anywhere else where there is a difference in skin tone, which is everywhere, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's
so I appreciated this aspect.
Yeah, that aspect's good. The problem is we don't like see it. You know, we see him after he's done that.
Yeah, no, I know, I get it. I'm just saying that like it speaks to me as a lapsed racist.
Yeah, well, no, it's realistic is the thing. It's just the problem is realism doesn't always make for good television.
Yeah, no, it's not terribly interesting, but
to see the like after without the before.
Right. It's like how I liked hearing the story that Phlox tells to Paul that was I was going to go to some planet for a field trip. And my grandmother took me aside and said, you can't go there because Antarans were there once and the place is tainted.
His grandmother was a bitch.
Oh, yeah. And T'Pol asks him, did you go? And he says no. And I'm like, holy shit, that's fascinating. And he says, I went later in life and I brought my kids. I'm like, that's also fascinating. This should be the story he tells Hudak. But instead, it's suddenly I'm like a fucking angel when he tells the story of Hudak. It's like, this isn't the progress. This isn't the progress that you can see in that story. Yeah. This is just you suddenly being a fucking angel.
Yeah,
yeah, you're right. It is too bad. They should have used that story for Hudak.
And I will say, like, they write Phlox so annoying most of the time. Billingsley did a really good job in that scene. Like, Billingsley clearly is a good actor.
I was gonna say, he's not a bad actor. His character just sucks.
Yeah, they give him a really aggravating character to play.
Well, and I would have said the same thing about Ethan Phillips in early seasons of Voyager.
I've said the same thing about Picardo quite a lot lately.
Oh, God, he was the worst in the beginning. What an arrogant douche. But eventually he becomes charming, so he's a charming, arrogant douche, and that's fine.
And then he flips back to arrogant douche.
Yeah. I still think...
Dang it.
The regression at the end of a show isn't that unusual, though, because remember, like, Deep Space Nine, we got a lot of that shit, too. Like, suddenly it's like...
I still think it was revenge on Picardo for always suggesting things, and the writers were pissed at him.
Could be.
Even though he was usually right.
I don't know. I bet those were the things he suggested. Anyway, getting back to this.
Yes.
How did you guys like that random Tribble reference?
Oh my God.
Oh God. I gotta admit, I like at first like, oh God, Tribble, okay, it's Star Trek. Oh my God, it's food. That was kind of funny.
The look
on Hoshi's reaction.
It made me think of H. John Benjamin. Maybe he was onto something.
Well, and you mentioned too, it's like
it's like in Jurassic Park. At the beginning when
What's gonna happen to the goat?
Yeah.
No, not even that. It's that's yes, but there's also a scene earlier on where they lower a cow into the Velociraptor.
Yeah, and you just see the
and you
trees.
hear like
yes, yeah, God, Jurassic Park.
Yeah,
what a great movie.
That was kind of funny. At first, I was like, oh God, we're doing okay. That all right.
And honestly, that's the best way to deal with a Tribble, because otherwise that fucking thing would have been breeding in no time. Enterprise would be overrun. The catwalk would be full of them.
God, you just gotta hope the animal doesn't eat it whole.
Like, no, it wouldn't. It would suffocate.
Because then it would have babies inside of it?
Which would have babies inside of it, and babies inside it explode. It turned inside out and exploded.
No, it turned inside out and got digested.
True.
Well, Jake asked a poignant question as we were watching.
Oh.
Where did Mayweather get all this caving experience?
Yeah, he grew up in space.
Maybe they
what
had
the fuck? Hold on.
Like, I couldn't understand why he was like, oh, you're an expert caver.
He gets hurt every time he goes caving, so clearly not.
Yes, fair.
That's what it is. When he was at the academy, he took it up then because he was so excited to be on a planet.
On a planet with caves. Yeah.
Because, you're right. Otherwise, that doesn't actually... Because he's always depicted as, like, going off climbing shit and exploring... Like,
Yeah, but
hold
again,
on.
every time he does that, he breaks his leg.
Yeah, he doesn't have very good luck with it.
Maybe that's what it is.
true.
Okay. But, that never occurred to me to question. Again, because I think the writers half time forget that's his background.
They forget he's there half the time.
True.
Never mind his background. They think he's background. Yeah. They're like, all right. Whatever, he's on the bridge. You're fine. That's all. What, do you want him to talk and act? No.
I feel like they do the same to Hoshi, too. I forgot how much they don't use her, too. I mean, she's still done more than Mayweather, but...
for sure, but
not
much.
As much as I thought.
I kind of feel bad, but I'm way less interested in her than I am in Mayweather.
Really?
Well, because there's so much mystery to Mayweather, because he's done nothing.
That's a good point.
We haven't seen him pull one of his copyrighted practical japes.
He does have those abs.
True.
Oh, maybe that's what it is. Oh my god, didn't I notice his dick in the second episode?
You did?
Whoa.
Holy shit.
No,
dude.
first one.
Well, either way, Mayweather has got a fucking schlong a dong, and he is dressing left with it. Dear fucking Christ.
Yeah, it was towards the end scene where him and his brother were reconciling, and he was back in uniform.
Oh my god.
I didn't notice, but you exclaimed very loudly.
Well.
So, speaking of poor Mayweather, I was thinking, so you busted your leg, so this is going to leave you on this ledge.
Yeah, for days.
For
potentially days.
What did they just leave him a Game Boy and some Capri Suns? Be like, we'll be back soon, champ?
And don't forget the baggies to bring your poop out with, because this is a bring it in, carry it out kind of a hiking situation.
Ew. Hopefully he was wearing some...
Say you shit all over those racists' planet. Fuck it.
Hopefully he's wearing some deep space diapers. Like he was going to seek revenge on his ex-boyfriend in Florida.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Wow, I forgot about that.
Oh, never forget.
Weird person. Yeah, again, like you said, I mean, it was, like you said, Jake, on the Enterprise scale, it's decent, but...
Yeah, it's well written and directed and acted. It's just
boring.
Fine.
Yeah, well, it feels like they jumped the end with Flux. There's all these pieces that felt like they should have been part of a stew, but they weren't.
Stew.
So, it sure was, Meg.
Yeah, it was.
I'm going to be an asshole and ask that we take a pee break.
No, that's fine.
How dare
drank
you?
all this coffee.
No, that's fair.
When that happens.
Yeah, no, I get it.
I'll be right back.
I don't get it. I never have to pee.
No, women pee. They just don't poop.
Anyway, speaking of having to take a pee break because they've had a lot of coffee, you know who else has a lot of coffee?
Wait, so I'm leaving?
Ben Cisco?
Fair enough.
No, we did Ben Cisco. Kira Nerys. We know she likes a rectagino.
Oh, that's true.
I remember Quark had to try to make her a decaf one once and failed.
Quark.
Decaf frappuccino.
I realized, I don't think...
Oh, yeah, when she was pregnant, right?
Any of us, either in our list or even as an honorable mention, I don't think any of us mentioned Cisco punching Q.
I expected you to, but I was going to bring up that, you know what? Well, which list would you have put it on?
Punching Q's fucking hysterical. Not a good idea. Yeah, it's a hard call.
It's a hard call, because I feel like, and I see people make the argument all the time of, oh yes, when Jean-Luc first met Q, he didn't punch him in the face, and, he was stuck with Q episodes for the rest of time. But when Cisco first met him, he punched him in the face. It's like, yeah, but Q asked him to.
True.
And second, now we never got any more Q episodes in Deep Space Nine.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's fine. I think
he makes up for it.
He really wouldn't have gelled with what the show eventually became.
Yeah, he's kind of too much of a comic.
Imagine
type.
in the.
We already have the prophets as our Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah,
things.
and they're not him just popping up in the middle of the Dominion War arc. They're hi everybody, not fucking now. Okay, gonna go.
All right, so what are we doing?
We're doing Kira Nerys.
Goods or bads first?
Goods.
Yeah, we always start good.
We're getting the goods.
Who's starting?
Me.
Go for it.
Okay, good things.
Because she's so good.
I fucking love Kira.
Oh, she's best.
She's my favorite character.
It was actually tough thinking of moments just because she's just so all around solid as a character.
Yeah, I definitely had to
she's so consistent. It's okay, everything she does is just her.
I had to definitely trawl through her Memory Alpha article several times.
Oh wow.
To find honestly coming up with good ones was easy, but narrowing it down was hard.
So these are the ones that I'm thinking of specifically. I feel are big, character. It's moments when she kind of acts against character in a way. So, for example, number 1, not necessarily in any order.
Cool.
In the episode Duet, when she realizes that the guy who's pretending to be Gull, what the fuck is it? You got it here?
Goldar Heel. The guy's name is
Goldar Heel. Yeah. So this guy is pretending to be Goldar Heel, and he's doing it because he was like a clerk at one of the horrible like concentration camps. Work camps, labor camps, whatever the fuck they were calling them. And he wants to turn himself in as being the war criminal because he feels he has to be punished. And I sort of feel like that's the first time we ever see her look at a Cardassian and go like, holy shit, like some of you were just people. And all of you actually had feelings and wow, like... But she's like, no, like, we're not going to turn you in. Like, it wasn't your fault. Like, and I just thought that was a huge moment for her because,
Cardassians are not a monoculture, unlike most other cultures.
Which is really interesting.
And she, like, at first, she would love to just be like, yeah, no, he's this guy, let's kill him, I want this vengeance.
This is Goldar Heel, let's fuck him up. But
and
then
she refuses to just accept it when it becomes obvious something's wrong.
Yeah. So, I loved that.
So good.
Similarly, Second Skin.
Yay!
When man, I mean, that's that episode, I just watched this one recently, such a great episode, and a tough episode too, because how much can you be gaslit and still believe in who you are? And she sticks to it. Not only does she stick to it, she manages to foil the plot and be like, hey, I can't remember his name either. You know his name? Kenny Gamore. She's like, wait a minute, they don't give a shit about me. I know that I'm not who they think I am. But, like, you're basically telling me that you are, a dissident or whatever. And, like, why would they want to do this? They don't give a shit about me. They're trying to get to you. And, and they still become friends. And, like, he gives her the necklace or bracelet or whatever and is like, like, thanks for being... And she's like, I know your daughter loved you very much. And it's just, again, like... Nerys, her ability... Can I call you Nerys? Her ability to, like, see the humanity, for lack of a better word, in Cardassians in spite of, like, her obvious, horribly traumatic past, I just think is one of the things that makes her great. Like, I feel like she is a character that has all this growth.
It's kind of what, like, the Breach should have been a little bit, is to have that nuance instead of the kind of milquetoast character... non-growth that we got.
Yeah.
Like, she grows every time she meets Cardassians. And it's fascinating. One more, Caitlin.
Oh, man. Every time she ever pissed off Kai Wynn, but especially the time when Kai Wynn is like, and my child, don't you ever speak to me in that disrespectful tone again. That's more of a general... Well, I don't even really want to count that one. The other one that I really want to talk about was the time that she destroys that guy's kiln to make him leave, because even though...
Oh, that's on your good list.
Well, because she has to save his life. It's the only thing she can do. And she cares about him, and she's she's doing the good but not popular... Popular isn't necessarily good thing. I think it's good. I think she saves his life.
Oh, that's a good point.
It's a memorable moment, but I couldn't decide where to put it, so I didn't put it on either of my lists.
I'm glad to talk about it, because it is such a good moment.
Yeah, no, it's an important moment. I just still don't know where the fuck I fall on it all this time later.
I mean, I guess it doesn't feel good on its surface, but I feel that she did it for the right reason.
Yeah.
True.
I'm gonna go next, because Caitlin already said 2 of mine. Duet, everything she did there.
Yay.
Keeping in touch with Kenny Gamora after all that bullshit.
Oh, from Second Skin.
And then oh, God.
And in Ties of Blood and Water, I think is the other one.
Motherfucker.
Yeah.
You had to bring up... You can't do 2! You can't do 2 moments in one!
He wasn't. Those were his 2 moments, weren't they?
Yeah, Duet and to Kenny Gamora.
Those are 2
Yeah, but to Kenny Gamora
is
it's either Second Skin or the other one.
Well, I wasn't gonna bring up the other one. It got brought up. And my other good one was staring down the Romulans in the season 7 premiere.
What is that one?
Oh, I looked it up earlier.
What's that called? You don't know?
Image in the Sand?
Yeah,
there we go.
Images in Sand.
Images in Sand. I read it earlier, but forgot to write it down.
I looked at all the fucking episodes. You remember every episode. We have watched something like 600 some odd episodes of Star Trek, and you know every fucking title. We give you a 2-sentence explanation, and Ames knows that shit. Ames is incredible.
Sometimes.
I just want all the listeners, all 3 of you out there, I want you to know that Ames has a fucking incredible steel trap of a mind, and you don't get to see it. But
it
it's
takes
amazing.
a lot of practice. It takes a lot of re-listening to the podcast.
Yeah, but I gotta tell you though,
So sorry.
I am never cutting out a weird gap or something. She actually comes up with the titles that quickly. I cut out a lot of weird gaps, but not those. Those are real. Jake?
Wait, what was your third thing?
Staring down the wrong.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Sorry, Jake.
Yeah, so I have obviously put Duet and her deal with Maritza. I mean, that is one of my favorite episodes of Star Trek. Period.
Yeah.
So
It's a great episode.
You didn't remember it a few weeks ago because it came up a few weeks ago, and you were like, "What? Did you just recently rewatch it?"
No, I rewatched Duet a while ago.
Oh, that's weird. Anyway,
Well, maybe it was.
I think you were conflating it with a different one at the time or something.
Well, that sounds like me.
Either way, and then I also chose Tekeni Gamor, but I specifically chose their relationship in Ties of Blood and Water.
That's a good.
It's so beautiful.
When like she is his daughter at that point.
Yeah.
But isn't she also really pissed at him? Isn't there like a?
But that's another thing she gets over because she
Okay.
keeps growing, and I love her.
I haven't watched it again yet, so I
That's
don't remember. Yeah, I mean, I love the Tekeni Gamor episodes in general are just great.
And then I couldn't pick a specific moment, so I'm gonna do one now. I mean, really, it's her relationship with Zial.
Ooh,
Yeah, I considered
And
that.
taking. I'm gonna say it's gonna be taking Zial in. When I can't remember the episode when they're
Return
on
to Grace?
when they're on the Klingon ship and
Yes.
And at the end Kira's like, Dukat, I'm gonna take Zial to live on DS9 because this is a shit environment for her.
She can't live as a pirate.
Yeah.
Did he do that on purpose though, so that he could just be have excuses to drop by and visit Nerys more often?
Probably.
He's such a scumbag.
He is.
But yeah, I
That
thought
fucking hot son of a bitch.
yeah, I thought because that's another instance where obviously she despises Dukat, but putting aside that and being like, no, this is just a girl who's had a shit life and her dad is a piece of shit, but she's great. So
She's great.
She's alright. It depends on who she's being played by.
I'm gonna risk having to deal with her dad in the future by kind of becoming her, not mother figure, but
her nanny.
Auntie.
her cool.
Her
What
aunt.
do you call someone that keeps a ward?
Master?
Batman.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, well, that's weird. That's more of Intendant Kira shit. Yum. Anyway.
Oh, yeah, can I give an honorable mention to?
I mean, I haven't
Well,
gone
let
yet.
Ames go because I have one queued up as
Okay,
well.
because I do have spares because I did over. I mean, how can you not overlap on beautiful moments in Duet and Second Skin?
Yeah,
So
pretty
I've
much.
got some spares. Top of my list actually hasn't come up yet, and it's her beautiful moment with Kaiopaka when she learns Kaiopaka's stranded on that planet forever, and she breaks down
She
over
does.
it, and it's
Yeah.
just it's such a vulnerable Kira moment which you don't see a lot of.
No, it's true.
Yeah, she's tough as
which
nails
is-
most of the time.
It's beautiful and I love it. I'm gonna also say saving all the cultists from Dukat in Covenant.
That's good. Yeah.
That's a great
Hey,
episode.
thick bags,
Jim.
don't scratch loud things.
Too late.
That's a lot of things.
Tough titty, said the kitty.
He's immediately looking for the bag. He's the best.
And since this Zial moment is similar to the other Zial moment, because, saving her in the first place was a nice thing for her to do, but I'm going to give it to another very sweet and vulnerable scene she has, and that's the one she has with Cisco in Starship Down. When Cisco is, concussed and, nearly dying.
Oh my god.
And she's like, Cisco, it's been so weird for me because you're the emissary, and I just wanted to have an actual heart-to-heart moment with you, but it's been very weird for me, but you're still great.
And that's when she's telling him stories to keep him with her and shit, right? That's a great episode.
I love that
That
one.
is. Yeah.
What were your honorable mentions?
The one I wanted to bring up is her relationship and reaction to Intendant Kira. Although I guess I could put it in a negative one as well because they didn't bang and they really should have.
No, that's good. You don't bang yourself. That's weird. That is ultra incest.
No, it's not. It's something else, but
It's
yeah.
masturbation. That's
Well,
fine.
there is a term for it though.
Oh, God.
Being turned on by yourself.
Narcissism?
No. I mean, yes, but no.
But yeah, I don't know. It's just they played off each other very well.
Yeah, but Dan,
I played well off of myself.
But
those
Dan,
actors have great chemistry.
Make out already. Fuck.
When you think about it, though, she had to act off of someone reading her lines to her twice.
Yeah.
And it still worked. That's actually, that is impressive.
And props to Nana for creating a very distinct character in Intendant Kira.
Oh my god.
That was still very good and still believably like the same person.
Yeah.
In a weird way.
Yeah.
Cool.
My honorable mention is when she punched Lancelot.
Nice. I was pretty high on my list too.
But it's off screen. We didn't see it.
I know, and it's also a holodeck thing, but that's why it's an honorable mention.
I am not a merry man.
It's just like I am a married woman in that. It's like, yeah, no, Lancelot needs a punch. He is the worst.
Yeah. Here's one more honorable mention, and granted this was a little bit thrust upon her, but she went with it. Agreeing to surrogate the O'Brien baby. Yeah. And she did a great job. She's a great fake mom to that fake child.
And she somehow managed to not fuck O'Brien.
Oh, well, that sounds... Let's go down to her. That was gross.
Not fucking O'Brien is gross?
Thinking about fucking O'Brien is gross.
She was full of hormones.
Yeah.
And also,
like, his baby. I mean, to be fair.
I feel like, too, I don't know if they were going for this, but it did really feel like Keiko was half throwing him at her. It was weird.
Well, Keiko's like, oh, you should spend more time with Kira. And Miles like, no, I shouldn't.
Throw her a bone, O'Brien. Keiko. Keiko, Jesus.
Put your dick in her, O'Brien.
Does that not mean what it used to mean?
Can I spell it out any louder? Bang her.
Well, because she was hoping for a three-way eventually.
Oh, fair enough, yeah.
She was just getting to Kira via Miles.
Can we swap out Miles for somebody else, though?
Me.
Miles.
How about me? Could I do it? Now we gotta talk about bad things.
Yeah,
that she does.
my naughty Kira list is not very long.
I've got lots of naughty Kira.
I had trouble.
They have nothing to do with this show, though.
I had trouble coming up with stuff. I'm not gonna lie.
Shit. I actually was just thinking. I was just thinking of some since I haven't thought of any. Hold on. Oh, okay. Number one, this is possibly the worst one, is when she's like, "Damn it, Julian! Can't you replace the last two of Barial's vital organs and keep them going?" And,
I forgot
and
about
Julian's
that.
like, "Holy shit, no, I cannot." And Kira's like, "Why?"
Robo-Ryle.
Though as a good thing, though, she does sit with him in his last moments and talk to him about how great he was, and that was nice. But man, wow, what a crazy bitch!
I somehow forgot that episode.
Well, I just rewatched it, so it's fresh in my mind.
But it's a big thing. Yeah, well.
That's in life support. I think
Right.
that's right.
I feel
I'll take credit if that's right.
Probably right. You're usually right.
It's definitely an episode of DS. Yep, that's it.
It's definitely an episode of Deep Space Nine.
Well, because as I was typing it suggested.
Okay. I was gonna say, I was like, well, yeah, it did. It involved Kira, so yeah, we figured. What else does she do that's bad? Oh, she goes back in the past to visit her mom.
Oh yeah, that's my tippy
fucked
top.
up.
God damn it, Kira, what an idiot.
That's fucked up. And
no, I promise, I won't affect the past at all. I'll just kill Ducat. Kira,
hang
stop
out
it.
with my mom. That's another bad thing. I feel like I can't it's hard for me to think of a specific time, but I feel like in general when she and Cisco and Dax and the whole bridge is discussing shit, she's always the one we need to fucking kill him.
Yeah.
I don't have a really good
I have a good moment. I have a good one.
Okay, good.
Of that
Ames
very
has
thing.
It. Give it to me, Ames.
I wrote that because I re-listened to the podcast and I found this episode. It's in Playing God where they discover the baby universe, and Kira's first impulse is fucking kill it, and everyone's like, "No, Kira, we're Starfleet. We don't do that."
Though, admittedly, again, it's not good, but it totally fits with her character. It makes sense.
We don't know what it is. Get rid of it.
It doesn't.
It could enslave my people again.
It just sucks though, because she otherwise shows so much growth and thoughtfulness, and then.
But flaws make characters interesting.
I know.
And
But
again,
anyway,
it doesn't come out of nowhere. It makes sense for her background. Her whole life was violence.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, thank you, Ames, for giving me an actual example, because I just, like,
It does happen a lot. It's very rare.
dude. Yeah, like, if Janeway is known for blowing up the Enterprise, Nerys should be known... What did I say? Enterprise? Wow. Then Kira should be remembered for being, like, a fucking genocidal maniac. And not seeing the irony. Oh, my goodness.
I mean, aside from that, she wanted to end the whole universe. It was never genocide. It was individuals she wanted to kill.
It's a universe.
Yeah, that's beyond genocide. That's
multiple genocides at once, actually, so I'm still right.
Galactocide.
Do we know there was life in the universe? I think we did, actually. Anyway, this was trickier. I'm going to go with purposely infecting Cermak Ren, the inventor of the aphasia virus.
I forgot
to make
about
him
that
find
one.
a fucking cure faster.
Which is like, don't be wrong, in the episode you're like, that's kind of badass, but that is also definitely a war crime.
Oh, yeah.
Like her buddy, the emissary.
That's in Babel.
Yep. Not resisting a Coram Lan faster.
Yeah.
Who's this?
I love Dejara's.
Oh,
Yeah, the fake, well, not fake, but the emissary from the past who shows up and wants to reinstate the cast, and she tries to go along with it at first.
She's like, artist. I can't be a pottery sculptor.
Even though she's not into it, she's just like, but I'm supposed to. It's like, come on, Kira. You were supposed to do a lot of things. Not doing what you're supposed to do is why you are who you are. This is the thing you're going to toe the line on?
That guy was a major tool.
He was the worst.
Sucked.
Decent poet. And had a hard time going third. I'm going to say, I'm going to go, her taste in men.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Her man taste is bad.
Like, she went with two deeply boring men and then a fascist. Like, we love him, but he's a fascist, let's be honest.
How fucking dare you talk about that way about Bareil.
So which are the two boring men?
Nalis and Bareil.
Shakar.
Shakar and Bareil.
Right, it was Shakar. Nalis died. Okay,
right.
Thank you.
And Nalis was the fake hero, not the
Yeah, Shakar was boring as fuck too, though.
Well, not just that, but like a needy little fucking high school bitch. Like,
does
Kira
one
talk
episode,
about me?
that's right.
Does she like me? Will you pass her this note for me, Odo? Grow up, you big pussy.
Yeah. I also have a dishonorable mention, but we'll save that.
Cool.
Wow.
Let's see if it's on Jake's list.
I don't know.
Jake us out, Jake.
No, Ames is last.
No, I know. I'm just saying, I want him to tell us his things.
My things are not coming out about the truth about Kai Opaka and the...
Oh, and when her kid was killed,
when she sacrificed, like, it was a noble thing, but like a lot of people died as a result.
Well, she was doing that a lot to protect Bareil too.
Exactly.
Right?
She basically let Bareil. No. She wasn't doing
the fall.
He took the fall.
Yeah.
Like, Kira let Bareil take the fall.
Oh, right.
So because Bareil wanted to protect the memory of Opaka.
Okay, my memory's at its limits. Which one is this? Which episode is this called?
The Collaborator.
Thank you.
Oh, good for you.
So many episodes.
And the problem with this is this directly led to Wynn becoming Kai.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
This was the reason Wynn, because otherwise Bareil would have been Kai.
Which, in universe, terrible. In the real world, as an adversary, so good.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to say her racism toward the Skreans.
Ooh, that's good.
Yeah.
You know.
Wait, are those the flaky people?
The flaky
Yeah.
people.
She wasn't racist to the
She
Skreans.
was, because
She...
in the end, she agreed with the government's decision not to let them settle.
Okay, but the government was probably right.
Well, no, because they were like, Bajor was going through a famine, and they were like prolific farmers.
Yeah, but we don't know.
No, we don't. But it's sort of, it was...
And especially because their reaction was, oh yeah, you won't let us live there? I thought you were my friend. So they're not that simple, and it's not her decision.
Yeah, fair.
I don't know. I rewatched it recently,
Bajor,
and
the whole of Bajor can be shitty.
Yeah,
but I feel like
Kira
should have fought more to let them stay and not just come around and be like, yeah, no, they're right. We don't want you. We don't want your kind here.
All right, well.
I don't know, because it's topical, right, with like the migrant crisis and everything.
No one wants to work anymore, and we don't want all these migrant workers. What?
And then
Guys.
I'm going to say, so I'm going to go back to Wrong is Darker Than Death or Night, and I'm going to say that she erred in not going through with the plot to blow up Dukat.
God damn!
Because, like, honestly, like, sure, it would have totally fucked the future. but she had already committed to it. And then at the last
and
second...
Ducat did need to die.
At the last second, she backed out.
You gotta wonder, would you have wound up with someone worse?
No,
I think
the answer is no.
The Orb of Time wouldn't have allowed
The Orb
her.
of Time would have been like,
true.
fuck this!
She was like, whoa. But no, you just think about, like, because Ducat was a fucking psychopath. But luckily for Bajor, he did have that weird, like, I want them to love me thing. Whereas, like, he could have been replaced by someone who hated Bajor just completely. You know, you actually potentially, like...
Yeah, but on the other hand, whoever replaced him that hated it completely maybe wouldn't have been trying to fuck everybody.
really
I like that this
true.
means Chris has fallen in with Ducat's argument from Waltz.
Well, what was he? What did it...
I gave them without me, they would have been off worse. I actually gave them the best existence.
Oh, he actually argued that once. That's
Yep.
horrifying.
But, like, really, I'm using that as sort of a stand-in for all of the times that she had every opportunity to murder Ducat and didn't.
And instead was just like, oh, you sat on a spike. Oh, that's very funny. Oh, we're
That
having
was
good
funny.
times here in the cave.
It's one of her best moments.
Like, if
pulling
you have a
Spike.
chance to go back in time and kill Hitler, you kill Hitler.
Yeah.
But then again, you fuck the future. Like, wasn't that... that was sort of...
Isn't this the theme of Back to the Future?
That's right.
She gets back to DS9, and there's all just a huge casino run by Quark.
Back
Yeah.
to DS9.
Oh no. You want one more, Jake?
Those are three.
Those are three?
Those are my three.
Oh, I see. I didn't put your name on this one because it was also kind of melded with Caitlin's.
Which one?
Just bringing the wrong... everything from Wrong's Darker Than Death or Night is probably going to be kind of a batch. But we'll see how the blog post writes up because I have some spares.
You have a cat.
Excellent.
I am shocked. Shockingly, I have spares. And Cat.
Totally unexpected that you would have extras.
I'm actually totally unexpected that no one has brought up this one yet.
This is a bad one?
As a bad moment.
Uh-oh.
Just going off to kill Sullivan Prynne in The Darkness and the Light. Even though she promised Odo she wouldn't.
I mean,
I
that
don't
guy
remember
needed
that
killing.
one.
You bring this one up all the time because it's that Phantom of the Opera Cardassian.
Yeah. But,
Oh, that's his name.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
That's a terrible
that
episode.
guy
It's a bad
needed
episode,
killing
yeah.
because he was killing all of her friends.
Did he?
Oh, that's the
kill-
That's One episode.
Yeah,
That episode is creepy.
But
Yeah,
no, I think this was Odo's fucking job, bitch. Just don't. You're 15 months pregnant with someone else's baby, and you're putting yourself in harm's
15
way.
months.
And I'm gonna make sure that this is on the list. All those weird, unnecessary feelings she had for Miles and looking for Parmont in all the wrong places because it came out of nowhere. It seemed disgusting.
It's got to be the hormones, though. Like, I mean, honestly, like, I hate to be one of those people who's like, oh, women and their hormones. But, like, when you're pregnant, you got all kinds of shit going on in there.
But I'm sure that's not what the writers were doing. I'm sure the writers were doing
Oh, well, then the writers are disgusting.
When girls and boys hang out, they develop feelings for each
Oh,
other.
yes, men and women can't just be friends.
Always.
Yep, you raise a good point. I forgot that men and women couldn't be friends.
He was
Ames.
also
Thank
giving
you.
those great foot rubs, though.
Having said that,
Oh,
though,
yeah. Ooh.
I could see her bonding over their mutual love of hating Cardassians.
I think you said
They
Keiko.
Oh, wait, no, not hating. No. This is DS9.
It took me a second.
They made their relationship less sitcom-y in DS9.
And I'm going to find one more man that she falls for, other than the ones already mentioned, and that's Mirror Bareil.
Mirror Bareil
Yeah,
was
that
fun.
was-
But
fucked
she
up.
fell for him in a second.
True.
And it was stupid. It was
That's
unlike
true.
It was unlike
And
her.
what he wanted to steal the orb of time? Was that his thing? I can't remember.
He was
he was
something
doing something malicious.
for intendant Kira.
Yeah.
I just don't remember what.
Man, remember when she was, like, getting all close and personal with Thomas Riker? That's good
Yeah,
stuff.
but
She thought it was Will.
Will at first.
I know. I
And
don't
she
care.
also, that was not consensual on her part. She was not interested.
Well, she was interested in Will.
Oh, no, well, she
Kinda.
no. Yes,
Wasn't
in the
she?
beginning. In the beginning, she absolutely was. He was flirting with her. She was flirting with him. They were going to get together. He kidnaps her, but he kidnaps her after they're like on a consensual, like walking around the ship date
Yeah, I
as
thought
an
they were.
excuse
I
to
think
hang
at
out.
first she was. I could be misremembering.
She was definitely into it. I just
believe
watched
her.
it.
Yeah, there we go.
I remember it being she was with Bareil at the time.
She was with Bareil,
And she
but
told
maybe
him
she
so.
wanted to get some strange. Well,
Yeah,
her,
I think you might be
her,
reading into it. Then.
No, dude, her words
I
do
could
not
be. It's
match
been
her
a while.
actions. I'm telling you. I just rewatched this episode, and she's definitely into it. She's
We
very
should do a
giggly and
podcast
cute
about
and
this
shit.
episode. See what we think about it.
Jesus.
Ooh, was that your vape?
Yeah, it's fine.
Can't trust Jake with items.
Yeah, I do have I don't have denobulin fingers, so...
Yikes. But thankfully you don't have their toes either, I suspect.
Thank God.
Speaking of doing a podcast, we're doing...
Wait. I had my dishonorable mention.
Okay.
This really isn't the character's fault or even visitor's fault, but that fucking haircut she had in the pilot. What was going on? And they pretend it never existed. Even when they do flashbacks, she never had that hair.
Okay, here's one more dishonorable mention then. Being so shit at catching ball and take me out to the hollow.
And yet still having the fucking nards to be an asshole to Rom like everybody else.
Yeah, it's like, bitch,
you're not good at catching ball either, bitch.
You're a resistance fighter. You should have fucking dexterity and, hand-eye coordination.
Maybe she's better at throwing ball than catching ball.
She's good at throwing ball, not catching
Good at lobbing grenades, not... Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly. When you're fighting a war and you see something flying towards you,
to catch it,
you run the fuck away.
That is ill-advised, actually, to catch it at that point.
Still, she plays spring ball. She should be good at...
True.
More than one thing.
Do we actually know what spring ball entails?
It sounds very involved.
Yeah.
I don't know, but it makes her and Barile fucking horny. I know that.
That's true. Anyway.
Just like to spring his balls.
Oh.
Spring ball is really just the Bajoran term for cowgirl.
Boing, boing, boing.
Oh, the fun's gonna end, folks. Next week. I've been dreading this one. Cogenitor and regeneration.
I mean, all the fun has been talking about other better series of this show, so...
wait till you see this. You were gonna, this fucking episode.
Cogenitor, you mean?
Yeah. So join us for that. Follow us on Facebook and Tumblr, where the blogs are, and your favorite podcasting application, rate and review or whatever people say. Oh, and who is our Dax? We are doing Dax next week.
Dax!
So join us for that.
Hers on Dax.
Which one?
Yeah, this has been Chris.
This has been Ames.
This has been Caitlin.
And this is always Jake.
Oh no, my leg. I'm in a cave. I was in We have 2 to do today, Jake.
New York this weekend.
Oh, that's right, you were.
Oh, yeah, how was New York?
It was fine. I was only there for 2 days.
You in the city, or?
Yeah, Manhattan, Midtown.
Fancy.
Very nice.
Destroyed a hotel room.
Good.
I did. I had very bad gas after eating delicious street food.
Oh.
It was so good, but then the aftermath was unpleasant, and I really feel for that poor housekeeping person who had to walk into that.
I guarantee they have experienced
I'm
worse.
sure. Yeah. I mean, it just was not great.
Jake, I'm here to not guarantee that. We have no idea what they've known.
That's true.
It must be like awful though. You just
First day on the job. What is this?
The senior following them. This is almost a relief.
I mean, the thing is, I'm very tidy in hotel rooms. Like, I don't like leave a mess.
Yeah, he didn't like fart a brown streak onto his bed sheets.
Well,
that we know of.
I mean, they do get washed, so even if I had,